What I find exciting about Advent calendars is when you open them up and they have all the numbers in different areas. Makes you work for it, doesn't it? So let's see. There's number 1. And it's a letter to Santa Claus. So it's by Ned Taylor. Let's read this little story together, shall we? I want to give it its glory here. So let's put all this up there so we can read the back. Join in this heartwarming story of a little mouse who helps Santa choose the perfect presents for 2 very special children on Christmas Eve. Featuring beautiful illustrations by Ned Taylor and a delightful little letter to discover inside, this book will be cherished by everyone who believes in the magic of Christmas. Okay, as you can clearly see, it was copyrighted in 2014, written by Ned Taylor. A letter to Santa. It was Christmas Eve, and Jenny and her little brother James were writing a letter to Santa. Wiggling and giggling, they drew silly pictures of Rudolph and listed the presents, tongue-tied, and listed the presents they hoped that Santa would bring them. Jenny put the letter into an envelope and left it near a glass of milk and a plate of cookies. Santa will be sure to find it when he arrives, she said. Good idea, said James sneakily, munching on one of the cookies. I can't wait for Santa to get here, said James as he and Jenny went upstairs to bed. Soon all was quiet in the little house. Downstairs, Mouse scurried out of his hole and onto the table. He began nibbling on a yummy cookie when he spotted the letter. Someone's left an old envelope here, squeaked Mouse. If I tear it up, it will make a warm, cozy blanket for my bed. He carried the envelope back to his hole and squished it through the doorway. Later that night, there was a rumble and a thud. Santa Claus had tumbled down the chimney with a big bag of presents. Ho, 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 said Santa as he got to his feet. He looked around the room for the letter from Jenny and James, but he couldn't see it anywhere. All he saw was a trail of cookie crumbs. That's strange, said Santa, following the trail to the little mouse hole. Santa peeked inside. There he could see Mouse lying in a bed made from old pencils and crayons. Beside it was a set of matchbox drawers and a table made from a spool of thread. There were even little tiny Christmas decorations hanging along the wall. Mouse gave a big yawn. Who's there? He asked sleepily. Ho, 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 it's Santa Claus, said Santa, chuckling. I'm looking for a very important letter from James and Jenny. Have you seen one? Oh, no, squeaked the mouse. I didn't know there was a letter in the envelope, so I tore it up to make a blanket. James and Jenny will really be upset. Don't worry, said Santa. You can help me think of a present that they would like instead. Mouse smiled shyly and thought really hard. Well, said Mouse, they both love to play outside in the snow. I think James would like a sled to zoom down the snowy hills on. Jenny would love to whiz around on the frozen lake on ice skates, too. Santa reached into his bag, and I have just the thing, he laughed. He pulled out 2 gold presents and put them under the tree. Mouse watched excitedly. I hope they like them, he squealed. I think they'll love them, said Santa, waving goodbye. There's a few special presents for me under the tree, too. Thanks for all your help, Mouse. Mouse waved back at Santa until, with a whoosh, Santa disappeared back up the chimney. Mouse yawned and stretched. He was very tired now and was ready to go back to sleep. He scampered back to the mouse hole and tucked himself back into bed. Finally, Christmas morning came, and Mouse was woken by squeals of delight as Jenny and James tore the paper off their Christmas presents. Look, Jenny, said James. There are 2 gold presents." Ginny and James opened them excitedly. Ginny got a pair of beautiful ice skates. "Wow, I've got a sled," said James. "Let's go play with them right now." James and Ginny bundled up and ran outside onto the bright white snow. James whooshed down the hill on his sled, climbed back to the top, and whooshed down again. "This is the best Christmas ever," shouted Ginny as she glided elegantly across the ice, spinning so often. Mouse was so happy that Ginny and James liked their presents. He was scuttling back to his hole when, out of the corner of his eye, he spotted a small present and even a smaller envelope under the tree. To Mouse. When he got closer, Mouse saw that the letter had his name on it. "It's for me," he squeaked. And I think Heathcliff is looking for the mouse. That's just a side note. That night, Mouse snuggled underneath his new blanket. Wait a minute. That seems like it jumped forward really quick. I guess that is. That can't be the next page. It's not. Sorry. Here we go. Back inside his hole, Mouse opened up the beautifully wrapped gift and found a warm, snuggly patchwork blanket inside. "Wow, this blanket looks so comfy," he said. Mouse opened the letter and read it aloud. "Dear Mouse, thank you for being so kind and helping me find presents for James and Ginny. One good turn deserves another, so here's a nice comfy blanket to help keep you warm all winter long. Merry Christmas from Santa." That night, Mouse snuggled underneath his new blanket and began to fall asleep. He had so much fun helping Santa choosing presents for Ginny and James that this was the best Christmas he ever had. Oh, what a good story about giving. It's better to give than it is to receive. I want everyone this holiday season to do one nice, kind thing. Whether it's somebody that you just met on the street, give them a cart at the shopping center. Whether it's somebody that you know that may be down on their luck, bring them dinner. Maybe if you know something they like, give them something that it doesn't have to cost a lot to show them that they mean something to you. Remember that. And that is my first story for this evening.